This is the worst mistake a beginner trader can make, and sadly, I did it. Now, the reason why you don't want to make this mistake is because it's fed by greed. And as soon as greed kicks in, your trading starts to go off the rails. In this video, I'm going to show you guys exactly how greed impacted my trading today and how I went from a nice big green day to a red day. Today, I got caught trading with emotions and my P&L. If we look at the very first trade I took today, it was an amazing trade. We were basically below the previous days in New York all overnight, but price was staying above the daily. So what I wanted to see is either price to break out above the previous days in New York or for price to break down below the daily, which we did going right into the open. If we just quickly look at the 15-minute candle closures on this 15-minute chart, we can see that sellers take control, get a nice bearish close below the daily. As soon as this candle is basically formed and finished, and I get in for an immediate entry once I see on the 2-minute to where we have this nice, beautiful bearish pin, rejecting buyers from being able to take price back up above the daily. So as soon as I see this pin closes, I get in, no hesitation, because I'm essentially playing the break and retest of the daily towards the downside. And it worked perfectly in my favor. Now, another reason why I took this short is because we had previous days put in control below us. And there's a crazy stat that of like 80% of the time, we want to engage with the previous day's put in control at some point throughout the New York session. So that was my target and I was able to hit it perfectly. Now, going over the second trade, this is where we're going to find out where I messed up pretty bad. So I basically wanted to take a short position, betting that price is going to continue the downtrend and move even lower. But before I wanted to do that, I did not want to sell anywhere in this downtrend. I took my piece of the pie out at previous point of control, but price continued lower, which is fine. But I want for price to make a pullback so that way I can say, okay, sellers are able to take this thing lower because they have taken a breath. So until we get that pullback, I do not want to be getting in. But we did in fact get our pullback. Now, what I wanted to do and what I've honestly should have done if I'm being consistent with my VWAP plays is honestly should have gotten in somewhere around here. That's totally fine if I wanted to wait for the 15-minute candle closure, because if we see here, I remember at this time I wrote a note that the reason why I didn't enter off this 2-minute rejection candle right here off the New York VWAP is because the 15-minute has not fully closed yet. It can always flip and go bearish and go bullish. And that's something you're going to see in the third trade I'm about to show you. But that's the reason why I did not get off this 2-minute rejection candle. If the 15-minute close on this candle, or it was getting close to close on this candle, that looks like a perfect bar to get in on, but it didn't, right? So I wanted to give it a little bit more time, waited for this 15-minute right here to actually develop its shape and show me how it wants to close. And in fact, that this is the pullback that we needed. And then we can continue moving lower from here. So once that 15-minute bar actually closed around here, this is when I got in. And not the best price, which is why I don't like playing these low day VWAPs, which is why I prefer getting my price as close to the New York or even the daily as possible. But nonetheless, I got in at the low day VWAP, which already is a bad sign because I just know I don't like taking trades like this. And this trade kind of felt a little forced. It felt a little led by greed. And as soon as I jumped into this trade, I knew, okay, this is not my best trade. I don't want to be in it. And that's where my emotions just started going crazy. And as soon as my emotions started going crazy, I cut the trade. But then I was like, wait, okay, I'm just trading with emotions. My trade's not invalidated. So let me get back in. And I got back in, and then it immediately turned against me. And then I cut it again for a small loss, giving back some of my winners. Not a good thing to do. I should have just took that one move and been done until breaks the initial balance side. That's great. Now I have more confirmation in the shorts. But because I was not patient and I kind of rushed myself into this trade, my emotions were just going everywhere. And well, I mean, I just kind of crapped the bed, if we say that. But then going into the third trade is honestly even worse. Third trade was strictly a revenge trade, and I should not have taken it. And this is one of the things that really kill beginner traders. And I'm not one to do this frequently, but when it does happen, I mean, it's incredibly frustrating. And I know better. I know I should not be trading this way. Now, greed is a killer for your performance when trading. But the reason why I say I should have only taken that one trade I took in the morning and then after that just stayed out is because, well, let's just look at the chart. Looking at the 15-minute, we have not broken aside of the initial balance, meaning price just moved within the initial balance without a single breakout. That is incredibly rare. After getting such a big win, if I'm going to be willing to put a second trade on, risking losing my profits that I made in the morning, it better be a darn good one. This trade that I took around 10:15 off the rejection of the New York, it was okay, but I needed to get a close price to the New York. The other trade I took at 11:45 should have never been taken because it's 11:45 and we still have not broken out of the initial balance, which is basically a red flag that the shorts may not be in play anymore. Today was just a generally tough day, especially for me because my emotions were just everywhere after that nice win in the morning. But now I know going forward that if I do win the first trade, I better not take a second trade unless the conditions are absolutely perfect. And we cannot be trading within the initial balance range while we're 3 hours or 2.5 hours into the New York session.